GLAM, Los Angeles.
Hi, Kirby. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to Los Angeles.
Okay, we've got
a big one today.
A big one. Someone that we have been admiring from afar for so long. Someone that you all probably have been following along too. Vanngo.
Hello.
Vanngo!
Hello. Thanks so much for having me.
It's so crazy that we have not met you before.
No.
We've been following you for so long.
I
know.
This is a first, I think, for Sarah and I to have a guest that we haven't met before.
I know, totally. You must come to LA, but like you're just so busy. You don't have time.
I only come here for work and I leave. Work and leave. I never stay, This time I stay an extra day to see you guys. But usually I'm just like take the red eye and fly right back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
so
staying. We're so happy. We're thrilled because Hung is here for a very special reason. He's launching his own makeup brand in Sephora. This is going to be huge.
It's beautiful.
You've seen
Thank
it
you.
online already.
Yeah.
There's been promo on your socials.
So much
Sephora.
fanfare.
Yes.
Especially from your fellow artists.
I think
Yes.
they're makeup artists excited about this too.
Yeah.
Yes, we definitely want to dive into that. But Hung, what are 5 products that you always keep in your makeup kit? Obviously now you have your own brand, but we would love for you to kind of give us a peek as to what's in your kit.
5 products I always have in my kit. One of them is a eyebrow marker that is not existent anymore. That I went on eBay and I buy all them. And I know people always ask was like, why you get that signature brow? And the only people who have it now is my assistant, past assistant and mine, because we went and cleared everything out before they discontinue.
Who made it?
It's from Japan, but I still have some. But that's a goal that I want to make something like that because for me, it's so amazing to use. I know people always ask, but I'm always like, you can't get them, and people thought I was lying, but we're not lying. It's,
You bought out the whole stuff.
Yeah, even my own assistant, she's Japanese. She went back and she even go on like the eBay and on Japanese website and everything there, and she cleared out for me. So I stock it up because it was like over 10 years ago they stopped.
What was the brand?
It's a Japanese name.
Yeah, okay.
And, but I stock it up and then it was
Yeah.
just like, so I have so much still. But I was like, that's something that I always, so that's the first product. I love Aquaphor. And I know that I use a lot. And I think it's like, and I know it's not like the most fancy, exciting thing. The number 3 products is a highlighter from Rare Beauty. It's called Mesmerize. It's a beautiful powder highlighter.
Okay.
That's number 3. Number 4, I have so much stuff. And we depot as well too.
Okay.
So that's why
Yeah, you're thinking
it's
about
really
it in
hard
pots.
to, I always love La Mer moisturizer. I know a lot of people think it's too heavy, but I mean, they come out very, like a lot different, version
types.
and more type, like more like lighter too. But I think I was from Calgary and it was very cold and it was very dry there. And I used them and it was so amazing. And I start using makeup with those then. And then it become a habit. And I try many different moisturizer and I still use them. But then if I use like, I use a lighter serum underneath there.
Okay.
I would use like the Outset, the peptide serum they have. It's very light serum and then I put the moisturizer on top. And if another sick for you is another eye cream, because I give you all the prep skin stuff. Then I would an eye cream I use from IS Clinical. It's so those are because I just give you for the lips and so those are prep there. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you do the skincare prep before you do the makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I have follow-ups.
Yes.
How do you use Aquaphor?
Aquaphor I use for everything. I use for lips. I use for everything. Even like a client the other day and she have these like crack right here and she say, Hung, oh my God, I use everything. It doesn't work. And I couldn't give her the whole pot. I depot them out because I have to travel. So I put into a little container. I give it to her and she say, a few days later, she said, what was that you used? Because
It worked.
because a lot of times you have a crack here and it doesn't go away. Yeah, so it works. So for me, I use for years and years, and I try different lip balm, I have flavorful lip balm in my kit as well. I love Summer Friday and all those lip balm too. And I have them. Some people want a little bit more fancy, but for me, the one that works the most for me is always go back to Aquaphor.
Okay, and tell us about the Rare Beauty highlighter. Why do you like using this, and how do you use it?
That highlighter you can use on damp skin, or you can use on top of foundation, or you can use when you set as well. And I love it because you can go very, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You can go just very little highlighter, or you can go really, there are clients who love the really popping. You can create it with that as well. And that's why I love. And a lot of time I even just like rub it out and put moisturizer and put all the on the moisturizer and you put on the body too. So that would be great. So it works like a wet, like a liquid as well. You can do that way as well.
Ooh, that's a good tip.
Can I ask another question? I know we're here to talk about your brand,
No.
but quickly about Rare Beauty and Selena. Obviously, you guys are so close, and I'm sure she confides in you and asks you maybe before she launches a product, like, are you helping her test products out? Are you giving her feedback about products?
We bought like a family, and I'm very honest to her, but she have incredible product developer, like a PD person like Joyce Kim,
Yeah.
and Joyce is incredible.
Joyce has been on the podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that, and
Yeah.
then she's incredible, and
So
she
smart.
does wonderful job. You know what I mean? I always see the product is like almost done already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she have a really big team, a really amazing team. So yeah.
I was gonna ask you about the La Mer.
Yeah.
The creme. Is it the creme that
The-
you're
the
using?
original.
The original one.
And you use that on every client?
I use pretty much.
Wow,
What's
okay.
the secret? Are you just warm it up?
I just warm it up. If some people don't want too heavy, then I would use the IS Clinical, the repetitive emotion, and that's the lighter moisturizer.
Okay.
So that I would use that. But I try different moisturizer as well. Like I always do. It's not, but of course you always have favorites and you go back to, but there are so many amazing skincare in the market and I always try them,
So you feel that La Mer, the original creme, is a really good solid base for most people?
It is a lot of people if they feel it's heavy then I don't use them. But for me it feels like it's healing the skin a little bit and I feel like it's kind of like a protection underneath the skin before you put like sunscreen and makeup on top.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love.
But not a lot of people use them. But you only use a little bit and you really warm it up and you just really press on the skin.
That's, I think, the secret is people are applying too much and they're not pressing it.
Yeah.
They're not warming it
Warm
up
it
and they're not
yeah.
pressing it
because
into their
you
skin.
have to kind of melt. When you warm it up when it's not white anymore, that's when you're using them.
Yeah.
When people still see that it's all pasty still and you put on, you might not like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like rubbing white paint on if you're just like sticking it on.
Yeah. Okay, so we know that you were born in Vietnam and then you immigrated to Canada.
We escaped Vietnam. We lived in Thailand first.
Okay.
In a refugee for 3 years.
Okay.
When I was young with my sister and my brother.
Okay.
And then we got accepted to go to Canada.
Okay.
I immigrated to Canada. And then from Calgary, I moved to Toronto, also in Canada, and I moved to New York after.
Wow. So what was that like and how did that impact your career in beauty or inspire you to pursue makeup?
When I was young, I always paint and drawing, but it's always black and white. Like mostly pencil and black and white, but never much color until I go to high school. That's when I really fascinate with the color and stuff like that. If I say that, I'm really like fascinated about color when I was young, no, it wasn't. I love color, but when I draw, it's always black and white. And then in high school, that's when I was fascinated about magazine, and that's when I inspired to that. But I was in Calgary, and I never thought about become a makeup artist because we never heard someone being a makeup artist. They always know someone who work in the mall in the makeup counter. So I thought maybe become a hairdresser.
Okay.
And that's why I went to hairdressing school 3 days after high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you pursued being a hairdresser first, and then when did you make the transition?
This is definitely not a lie because people can listen, they from Calgary, they know this. Hair was a gift. So basically, I started doing hair and it was a gift that I was really good right away. Like in Calgary, everyone knows me as a hairdresser. And I was very young and I work in a salon, but I'm always like attracted to the makeup station and do things. And it's like a gift that I can just do hair and style and cut and everything really well. But in my heart, I always want to do makeup. So I'm always want to wait for that client to do wedding or graduation. And that's when I wanted to have a chance to do more makeup. But makeup is self-taught. Yeah, it's just from the salon that I was learning from. Yeah.
Wow. Do you still do hair sometimes?
No. As soon I got when I left Calgary, I decided to work on editorial. I left Calgary. I moved to Toronto, and at the time in Toronto, if you do freelances, you have to do both hair and makeup, and also because I have a hair background, so I did well in Toronto also just because you can do both really well. Most makeup artists, they don't have hair background; they just do a little hair. But then when I moved to New York, I completely stopped because I want people to take me more serious as a makeup artist. And I never tell people that I was a hairdresser either. Like I pretend don't know much about hair. I mean, slowly later on when I did well, that's when people slowly know because I'm like, I have a lot of opinion about the look, when it comes to hair. And I'm always like, give input and I'm always say the term that it's like must be a hairdresser understand that. So it's people cut up and then now everyone knows that. But I haven't touched hair like since I moved to New York with it 2006.
It's crazy
long
because
time.
I heard that from some other Canadian hairstylists and makeup artists is that you have to do both in Canada because the market is small. In many countries.
Like in Germany, in Australia, like that was a thought in my head. Say if I couldn't get an O1 visa, maybe the other market I want to try, you know what I mean? So those market people still have to do both if you want to do well,
So you were working in Canada doing hair, and you said that obviously you're gravitating towards makeup. Was there somebody that inspired you that was like a beauty muse to you that really kind of made you think, okay, maybe one day I can work on a celebrity like her? Or
I always dreamed to work with, at the time was 90s supermodel, like it's of the 90s. So of course like Cindy or Helena Christensen or Claudia Schiffer and all those supermodel. I mean, like when you're high school, I mean, you really fascinated, you just dream, you know what I mean? And very thankful I have worked with all of them already, which is like, that's why I say like dream those work,
That's when you were like, okay, I know I'm on the right path.
Yeah, so it was like, it was really the first person who actually helped my career in New York, is the one that completely changed everything with Selena Christensen as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a chance to work with her and basically she introduced me to many people after that and she was just like, so it's completely changed my career in a lot of ways.
How did you work with her? What happened?
So the story a little long, but I'm going to make it really short.
No, do
too.
it. This is a podcast. We need you to talk.
So basically in Calgary, I reached out to modeling agency first and because, and then a friend of mine, Kelly Strait, he actually, he's a friend now, but at the time he's an agent. There's a model agent. So he helped me to teach me all of these, about the business. And then he also the one that took me in New York the first time here. And that's why I said, that's my life, And then he said, you can't because you not really that great to move there because also you need a working visa. So we make a plan. I said, I should move to Toronto. So I moved to Toronto. Before I moved to Toronto, I got an offer from a hair salon in Montreal. It's like a big hair salon there, and they're looking for, remember, they're very young still, and creative director. And they heard of me because I won a lot of like hair awards, hair contests, stuff like that. So they offer, and I was like, hold back to Toronto. So I moved, I say, I could do 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So 2 weeks in Montreal, in the salon there, and 2 weeks in Calgary. With the condition is that in my head, it's like, I work only a few days in salon, just training and do special client for them. And then the other days I can do editorial, which I can do makeup. And that was like the plan. It didn't go so well because in the market, they find me a little commercial. I didn't get any work outside the salon there at all. For a few months I was there. But then back 2 weeks back and forth in Calgary, 2 weeks. And then there's a hair assistant in the salon. And he's now is a friend of like we're like family basically. And his name is Christopher Michael. He would assist me in the salon. So a few months later, I didn't really get to do all the freelance fashion that I was hoping for. And I said, that's it, no more Montreal. So we changed the plan. I quit the salon in Calgary and Montreal. I completely moved to Toronto, just no salon and just focus on editorial. Christopher also moved to Toronto. And then later on, he moved to New York. So he moved to New York before me. He got a job in the modeling agency. And then And it was me that who suggested him to be an agent in Toronto because he's great at talking, and then he was interning in the modeling agency in Toronto that repping me because I couldn't get a rep in Toronto that rep me that the hair and makeup. They didn't want me. They was like, you're very commercial. And that's the term always in their head. They would say that. And then I end up repping from a modeling agency that have a department with like hair and makeup as well. And then Christopher was intern in the agency there as well. And then he moved to New York. He worked different agency. And then he worked as Helena agency. And he was an assistant in the agency as well. And then at the time, and then I moved to New York. At the time she looking for makeup artists for a shoot for Numero Tokyo shoot. And then he was suggested, he said, you should try him out. And that's how we met.
Wow.
So
Oh my
it's like everything
gosh.
kind of full circle because, I got my first, I had met Helena through my own assistant and, it's all kind of full
It was
circle
all
in a
meant
way.
to be.
Yeah.
So when you moved to New York, did you assist anyone? Or
So I was in Toronto for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was blessed again. Like I did well in Toronto. So I did really well in Toronto right away. But I was like, and then agency asked me to come by. Say no, I stayed loyal to my agent Sharon Smith in Toronto. I know I love to give these names because these people was amazing in my life. And sorry, I'm getting emotional when I say things like that.
Oh.
So I moved to I didn't switch and I moved to Toronto and then I did really well. So I have a great clientele in Toronto. So when I went to see different agency, I couldn't get representation as well. They would say you kind of in between. You new in New York, but you kind of like past the assistant stage already.
Yeah.
Because they look my book, and you don't have any client here, so it's really hard to sell. So I couldn't get a rep here. So the first year, I didn't have a rep in New York. I kept flying back to Toronto to do my commercial work. And the great thing about Toronto in New York is only 1 hour flight. I could take the first flight to Toronto and then go back to New York in the evening. So I didn't have to pay hotel, nothing at all. And at the time they pay, and even if like the flight for $300, I still make like some money, even just go like that. So I did that for the first year. And then I got a rep, a smaller rep agency called Kramer and Kramer, and they still around and they work with a lot of Canadian clients. So they seen me working with our Canadian clients, so they say, oh, he's still working, so he's still making money. So they took me in. So I started working a little bit here, and then I keep asking, I keep emailing the agency I'm with right now, which is like that's the only second agency I've been in New York for like since 2008 until now. So it's like a long time, like 18 years, same agency. And after 4 times meeting them, and they took me in, so I'm with them since.
Wow.
And then that's when I start like slowly, I stopped going back to Toronto just because it's a lot, like
Totally.
You're booked and busy. Yeah.
Not right away, but like.
Well, you were busy flying from one place to the other.
Yeah, it's
too.
really hard because the thing is that like people don't book you back to back. You could have a job here Monday and then you have another booking on Friday or something. You have to fly back, and you know what I mean? Because you still want to have to save that money, so you can't just like book hotel or stay with people. You know what I mean? So
Totally.
it's still a lot back and forth. Yeah.
Do you have any, I don't want to say crazy, but do you have any fun stories from that time in your life that you haven't told before?
Or that you look back and you're like, wow.
Can't believe that happened.
There's a lot of things like people don't realize, but I was, when I first joined the Wall group, I was in the website called Off the Wall. So it's like, up and coming. And I was basically a backup makeup artist. Basically like the Wall group at the time, they have a lot of makeup artists. And the thing with me is that like, you just met me, so you don't know, but I'm very disciplined. I'm very like this. So even I'm not booked for job at all, but every day I still wake up and then not pretend, but like act like I'm going to work today, because I think that's the only way make you feel motivated, because I moved to New York for a career. And I said to myself, I have to think that today I'm working, and it works because a lot of makeup artists, whether they slept in or something happened at home, and with an agency with many artists like that, you always get a call. And at the time, I have a tiny apartment in Chelsea, so it's pretty central as well. So I can just right there. So I actually built a lot of booking from the last minute phone call. Because, every agency, there are people who, slip in, like to be late, anything like that, and the client panicking, and sometimes they need somebody right away. Usually I was...
You're
so-
available.
So that's one of the experience. I think I look back, I was like, I tell my assistant now all the time, I was like, believe it or not, like if you not working when I'm traveling, you should still go to the studio and be, productive, because it's become a great habit for you. And I built a great clientele just from be ready every morning, and that was one of the things I look back,
Yeah,
I
you were
love that.
prepared.
I was
It was
prepared.
preparation.
Always prepared. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what sign are you?
Sagittarius.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna say Virgo. I was like, damn,
Very
that is
organized.
discipline right there.
Yeah.
Like very, very like
Oh, I
funnel
love
vision of
that.
like what you want. Do you feel like you achieve all the goals you set out to achieve?
I mean, when you come to New York, my life, my career shifted a very different direction that I was imagined. Because when I moved to New York, it's a dream, because I want to work with supermodels and with fashion. I never thought about working with celebrities. Celebrities come later on. So, and that for me was I want to work with supermodels, and that was like fashion show, like big covers, and those was what always my thing. And when I first with the agency, I didn't want to do celebrity. I was like, no, I want to work with models, like that's the glam, that I want. And so the career shift already. So my goal, the list that I want to do when I first moved, is completely change direction for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, now, we see celebrities on the cover of magazines.
Yes.
We don't
Yes.
see supermodels anymore for the most
Totally.
part. So it kind of worked
It
in your
worked.
favor.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we know, sometimes we see a photo of a celebrity and we're like, that's
a
Hung's,
Hung.
That's Hung's work.
We know
Like,
that's Hung.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
distinct. But in your words, how do you describe the way that you do makeup, your artistry?
Going back what I just said earlier, when I start makeup, it was like from the Kevin O'Connor Fansanars. That was like my inspiration when I got in this business, because that's the glam and glitz, and the woman looks just like Amazon and looks so gorgeous. So my goal is to achieve those look on my client with the modern touch, but still look like themselves. So I still want them to have that glamour, the glamour, but they still have to look themselves. I'm not going to change their look, but the goal is they're already beautiful, but I just want them to look as the most beautiful they could look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the goal.
If
That's
we were
what we all want to be, the most beautiful version of ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
if we were interviewing one of your clients, what would they say you do that other makeup artists don't do while they're in the chair?
I was never late before. So as much as anything, today you see that I'm rushing in because I was
Yeah.
like downstairs, figured out the elevator, but I still make it here before
Yes.
call time. I'm always early. Doesn't matter how long. Like for example, Selena, I worked for 12, 13 years. I have never late for her once. And that's something about me. And even I come to her house, I still come early all the time. A lot of times drive them crazy. Some clients do not like you come early because they're not ready. I would sit in a coffee shop next to their door or something like that. Or I go to the hotel. I would be in the lobby waiting at least like 15 or 30 minutes before. It's always a thing for me. I'm not the fastest makeup artist. I could be, but I like to take my time because I think that's an art in me that I still want to create. Because I think like I'm not a robotic makeup artist. I like to study the face, or because your face changes each day as well. Yeah. Some day you be more bloated the other day, or some day, like the woman, if I don't see them for a few months, they could lose weight, they could gain weight. So that will change the way you do makeup as well. That's how I see it. So I'm not just do makeup like ABC tweet. So I still like take my time and step back and do those things. So I'm not definitely, they will tell you I'm not the fastest makeup artist. I'm very straightforward. And I don't talk very fancy, or I don't dance around them. I usually say like it is. When you first meet me, you think you kind of very surprised. You didn't realize that, but it just maybe it's a culture as well, and it's just like
you keep it real.
It is so that if I taste something that a little jazzy, they know that it's not me, and I don't want to be like that as well. And like today I told you, I say you can ask anything, and I rather don't know the question,
Yeah.
because I think it's more, and that's more me that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment with a client where you steered them out of a bad decision makeup wise?
I always say my opinion, but the thing is that, like, for example, the client say, "Oh, I don't want red lipstick," but I would say to them, I'm not a makeup artist. Would say, okay, I always say, but then, what which red you don't like, because there's many different red. If
Yeah.
if they go to an event and I know a red lipstick would be great for that, and I was like, but there's so many different shade of red. Should we try different shade on? You see, you might like it. So I'm that kind of person. I'm not gonna like, no, you can. But I have to, if I really strongly believe that it would be a great look, I would like to able to find the option to share with them that this is the best,
Yeah.
this is what I think.
Is there a favorite look, red carpet or editorial that you've ever done, maybe with like a specific celebrity that you often look back on and are really proud of?
There's so many throughout the years, but the most recent would be like, I think Selena, this year Oscar, we did more a less color, more monochrome face, and I think like she looks incredible. I love the look I did for Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feeling premiere.
Oh
I
my
think-
God, yes.
I think
Just
I think
looks
it's
so
I think
good.
I love that just because people went nuts for that, and I think I was like, oh, she looks so beautiful, and I look back at the picture and I said, I'm really proud.
That's the look I would come to you and say, Hong, I need you to give me the Jennifer right now. That's what I want. She's my
She's
queen.
never
I
looked
love
better.
her.
She looks so good.
And then for premiere of like Transformer in with Scarlett in London last year, I did like a brick colorful and I with really strong lips as well. And usually people say you should do lips or eye, not both.
Yeah.
And I do like, I pin all those three look in there right now. So in my Instagram, so I say we're gonna go for both eye and lips, And it was her idea as well. And I usually was like maybe too much for both, but I love the idea, and then we go for like both eye and lips, and she looked incredible. So those are most recent one,
What's the secret to balancing an eye and a lip?
I think the if you do both eye and lip, you have to keep the skin somewhat fresh.
Okay.
And less on the brow, and you have to take away from somewhere else. I think that's a great balance out, yeah.
I
But
feel
you
like,
can do both, yeah.
I was going to say, I had heard from Katie Jane Hughes.
Yes, I love her. yeah.
I love her too.
Amazing.
She taught me something that I thought was so helpful, which I didn't take into account today. But she was like, do your eyebrows and lips first, and then decide what else you need. Decide if you need less foundation, if you don't want to do any eyeshadow, maybe no mascara. Do you kind of subscribe to something like that, or how do you give tips to people that follow you?
I'm very old school in the way that I do complexion everything first.
Okay.
Like Helena Christensen, I agree. One thing is like this is gonna offend a lot of makeup artists, but it's just a way very old way thinking. I always got taught about to do complexion. You do your complexion, foundation, concealer, powder, and bronzer, and everything first complexion before I even do eye. And I start brow and I start eye, and then I go from there after. A lot of people they do and they think that because you have to do is after because eyeshadow fall off, stuff like that. But if you're makeup artist, application, is a key that you have to control. It will restrain you how much shadow and how you applying it. Because I think if you rely on dropping the makeup all over the place, but if you know that you don't want to mess up the skin, your application can be more perfect because you control the shape, the shadow, and everything. So I always do complexion first. And then Helena said exactly the same with me. And she was like, I agree with you, because she, in the whole school day, she was like, I don't understand why people do complexion last.
Yeah.
Because for me, everything is all about blur and blended. So if you do complexion after, like that like airbrush that you try and create the blur line from the skin to the eyeshadow, it's hard to achieve after. You have to clean, it's become very sharp and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you try to blend the edge again, and it's never the same. But for me, I like when I do the blush or the shadow, it's kind of diffused together. And if you do complexion last, it doesn't give you that effect.
I always hate my eye makeup if I do my complexion last
Yeah.
because I have melasma
Yeah.
on my face.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this does not look
Yeah.
good. It doesn't look put together. But when you do your complexion first,
First,
I'm
yeah.
a complexion first. Like
Yeah.
I just when I tried, like I'm trying underpainting. I'm
Yes.
doing all the things,
Yeah.
but it feels so
Complexion.
unnatural to me. Like I always do my base first. It's like I don't know. To me, it's like painting, right? It's like
Yeah.
painting. You have the foundation. That's first.
But I think it's very old. That's very old school of me. No, so I mean I
Okay.
still have that. I mean it's always like
right.
and
The-
also
And everyone has their own technique.
The right artist, though, like to Hung's point, the right artist
Knows
also
what they're
knows
doing.
how to manipulate a shadow and understands the formulas of the shadows
Yeah.
that they're using,
Yes.
which leads me to my next question. So with your new brand,
yes.
you have how many eyeshadow palettes?
We have a lot, but we launch in 8.
Okay. There's more than 8 coming?
Because I work on all of them. There's a story, a theme story. But there's some palettes. It was like Sephora say we have to launch this first, and I was like, no. I was like, this is a different story. So I was like, no,
Oh.
this is the first 8 palette we should launch. And I'm like, no, I have a vision. These are the 8 palettes, but there's more palette that I work on already, and they're really beautiful. They're more friendlier palette, like. It would be
This
like
one.
it would be like the bestseller if I do it right away. But I would just like, that's a beautiful palette.
That's
Yes,
like a,
that's what
this
I'm
is
wearing
like
today.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this
Yeah.
one today. It's
Me
the
too.
more like neutral,
Yes.
right?
I mean, it's called neutral.
Neutral, but still like a little punch still. It's
Yeah.
not
There's
too flat.
sparkles.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love the sparkle because it's
We
like
have 4 different texture in there. Yeah.
Yes.
it's very elegant.
Yes.
And I also cannot wait to try the cool tone palette, but I was like a little too much for daytime
Yeah.
for me right now.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask, so this kind of brings us to the trending topics, right? Like right now, eyeshadow palettes aren't necessarily trending,
Trendy, yeah.
which is why I am kind of obsessed with the fact that you're launching with 8.
You're like, I'm doing 8.
No, because the thing is, it's not like because there's not many eyeshadow I launched now. I always very passionate about colors in terms of doing makeup. You know, like if you look back a few years back, I mean, for the Emmy, I would do a crazy blue eyeshadow on Emily Ratajkowski, and everyone would say, "Oh my God!" But she looked incredible. And also Selena for the matte with like bright pink. You know, like so. I always like I'm not launching something that I never use. I launch in something that's still very me, but the created is for the consumer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I think also too, Kirby and we mentioned, when you posted about this, so many artists were so excited because like you need all of them in your kit. You want all 8 of them.
The truth also is nowadays, in order to create these colors with the vegan and cruelty-free brand, is harder because it's harder to create this unless you all these chemical to get like the color that punch. But even last year, there's California they banned one ingredient, and there are 15 shades on those 8 palettes. We have to rework it. So I have to went to the lab and to work with the team for the color, but it didn't come close to the original color that I want. But it's just because it's impossible for them to get those bright like blue or purple or red color the way I want it without put that ingredient in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we can't just create like something separate for California because it's gonna be really tricky for production. So I rather just like do it all. So we rework it all. So even like, the palettes, I mean, they are gorgeous, but there's 15 shades that it wasn't originally recreated. Because,
Wow.
So it's just because, and my goal is to do a vegan and cruelty-free brand. So I was like, we tried to do the best that we could with the ingredient allowed, you know what I mean? So
I can't wait to try. So, listeners, if you're not familiar, these palettes, there's a neutral palette which Sarah is playing with right now.
It's just so pretty.
But there's a green palette, there's a
the
blue
blue palette,
purple.
purple.
So they're color stories.
Yeah, each of them a color story. Yeah.
Which is amazing. Did you want to just go through the rainbow?
No, it's not that. It's just because a lot of time, like I hear all the time, and the client will look at the palettes, like you see all neutral, and there's a pop, a bright color, like some really crazy color in there. The client say, I don't know how to use them. And I would say, yeah, but there's so many neutral color here. But for people, for anyone as an artist, you can see color and you understand how to play with them. But for people who are not a color person and you have to lay out color in a way that they don't feel intimidated. If you guys ever see my YouTube channel, you know that I refuse to do a full eyeshadow look from 2 palettes or more than 1 palette. So I only respect the people who create the palette. So when I do an eye look, I always show people how to create a beautiful eye, smoky eye, or anything from just 1 palette.
Wow.
I'm not one of those people who say, and you use this shade from this palette and this shade palette. None of my video like that. So that's why when I want to create this, I want to put myself in the consumer that I say, do it in the way that when they look at the palette, they say, I can do this because the color is not intimidated. Like for example, the blue palette and the green. As much if you're not a blue shadow person, don't you think it's really beautiful to look at?
Oh, yeah.
And it is just like the way we lay the color. It takes us a lot of time like create a color, just like in the way that you want to look at them, you don't feel intimidated and you want to play with them. Because if I do in the color that's just so random, because that's gonna just trick your mind in a way that you don't want to play with them. And that's the whole idea for that's why I call color story. And it was surprising me how many people attract to those colors. Like,
Yes.
I was very like surprised. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
love it.
off the top of my head, I wasn't thinking I needed a blue eyeshadow palette, but now I love that you described it where if you need to do blue eye,
Yeah.
everything you need is in
In the
that
palette, yeah.
palette.
Yeah.
That's so helpful for people that are going to
But
Sephora.
Totally.
there a lot of the shade, even the crazy strong blue, is still very not intimidating. You have to play with them like it's still very approachable blue. It's not like and there are soft blue in there. There are neutral blue. There are intense blue. It's not just like one type of blue. And also in the palette, we don't have 1 or 2 texture. We have 4 different texture. So we have like some satin, like from matte, and then we have the metallic. It's really incredible. And then we also have this like innovative texture. I'm not sure you play with them. It's like I call 3D matte. It's for someone. Excuse me for the words, but I would think to my head said this is for makeup dummies. It means that they, as much someone who do not know how to apply eyeshadow, they can use a finger and they do this. And they still can apply without falling out. So that's what's one of my like excited about that texture. Yeah.
I use this palette, the neutral palette this morning.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with how creamy
Me
these
too.
are
Yeah.
and how easily they blended on
Yeah.
my eye. Because if you play with enough eyeshadows like we
Yeah.
do, I mean,
There's a
sometimes
lot
you're
of
like, come
fallout.
on, like,
Yeah.
why does it keep disappearing? It's like
Yeah, or
I'm
it's like-
erasing it.
Depositing here, but then it's not blending
Yes.
correctly.
It was so beautiful. So
Yeah.
then I have a question for you with the metallics. Do
Yeah.
you like to apply with your finger or would you also use a brush for those?
So the 2 texture, the metallic and the 3D. So if you want more not intense, I recommend with a brush.
'Kay.
But if you want more like
Yeah.
pack on, use your finger because you can get really glycerin from that
Yeah.
metallic, and you can get quite a lot of depth with the 3D. So that's
so
yeah.
fab.
It's super,
Yeah.
super pretty.
I'm going to a nice dinner tonight and it's a fashion dinner,
Yeah.
but
you just like
kinda-
this and you just
No, I'm just gonna go boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I'm actually really excited because I'm gonna be all like dressed,
Yeah.
like kind of fancy. But I think I'm gonna do like
Yeah.
a fun eye.
You should.
You should.
Do a
You
blue
inspired
eye.
me. I know. I'm like I should do blue. I should do
need
blue.
to see a blue eye.
I know. I'm excited.
Okay, so you also have really beautiful lipsticks.
Yes, that's the thing. The truth is we shot all these images and video in April because Sephora need everything to send in by June. So we just like 3 months before the thing, and production we never like because Sephora they very prepared and that's the way work, which is amazing. But for production point of view, it's like really early for a lot of stuff. And so when we shot all these images, we only have a nude lipstick and a red lipstick in final packaging and everything. So our lipstick is so incredible that it haven't been seen much because we don't have images in the video much at all or a lot of images. So that's why people are really excited about the palette, but they didn't see the chance to see all the lipstick that we have.
It's so gorgeous.
I'm
Okay.
obsessed.
Yeah.
I really do love this.
Yeah.
Okay, what is my favorite shade? How do you pronounce it?
K-Swin.
Okay, and this was the town that you were born in.
Yes, it's a small town in near Da Nang, in the city of Da Nang in Vietnam. Yeah,
I'm wearing it right now. It's just
It's so beautiful.
pretty.
It's
I
so
feel like it
beautiful.
looks so good on you too.
yeah.
He was told to change the name and he said no.
No.
And I
This
love
is
that.
where I grew. This is my
I was
hometown.
born,
Yeah.
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 So love that.
Okay, and then Kirby?
I'm wearing Nothing's Impossible. And you said, so on me, this is, I mean, if you guys are looking at the shade, how would you describe this shade?
I mean, this is like a peachy nude, a little, you know what I mean? But I mean, for you, there's a hint of pink too as well. So it's really flattering you in a lot of ways. People who love pink might like this as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like it looked different on.
It does. It looks a little bit different on because like if I look at when I
It looks like more brown.
yeah, the bullet,
almost.
the bullet is a little bit more muted to me than I put it on. But I wonder also if it's because of the lip liner that I have on.
Oh, I love the lip liner.
Yeah.
What are you? I'm wearing Fill It In.
Yeah.
I'm going blind, y'all. As much as you like.
As much as you like.
As much as you like.
Like
yes,
this one too.
so pretty. Yeah, and this one is
And
like
so
a true
creamy.
pink. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we have 9 lip liner. Two of them is basically we do for the 2 red, Vanngo red and New York red, like a blue red and orangey red that we have. But the red of the 7th shade, I want to do the 7th shade was basically somewhat you can use for any lipstick shade. So it's more like without thinking because I don't want to be like you have to match the lipstick with the lip liner. So in the way that we call it more like a sultry, sexy lip liner color a little bit. So you can use with any shade that you want without looking like it's not matching at all.
And it feels so nice on the
so
lips
good.
too.
Yeah.
And the lips
so
is very
comfy.
hydrating because I love a matte but hydrating, and sometimes matte is so
Yes.
and that's the gold is the lipstick that we do.
And then you have eyeliners.
Eyeliner, we have 2 different type eyeliner. I have kohl liner, which is like makeup artists always love it because we love to sketch, we love to blend, and that's what something like an artist in me that there's no way I'm not gonna do kohl liner, but because people love long wear more because it lasts all day, so I have long wear, and we found amazing formula as well for that. But the kohl liner, only 3 shades, so I'm doing the black and like a lighter taupe and like a lighter brown. But for me, the taupe and brown, I purposely do that for people who lighter skin to medium because it's harder. I find that it's harder for them to find like a brown or taupe color without looking too dark.
Okay, I love that you brought this up because when I was looking through, we got this amazing box of stuff, okay? And I haven't been able to go through all of them, but the eyeliner specifically, I was gonna ask you why you made the specific eyeliner that I use today, which I think is more consumer friendly, which is the twist bottom.
Yeah.
But you also have the kohl ones.
Kohl ones.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I was
I
like, I
haven't
feel
tried
like you
the
probably
kohl
use
one
kohl.
The
yet.
kohl one, I think makeup artists gonna love them because they like to draw because the long way is amazing. Everyone know that because it's long way, it lasts all day and it's great. For everyday people, it's easy. But for us, sometimes we want to blend, we want to stretch, and we want to do all the art we want. So we need the kohl liner because after 15 seconds or 20 seconds, the long way is set, so you can't do anything. So I do the kohl liner. But I always think like when I do client like Julian Moore or Julia Garner or anyone like really pale skin, and if I use a brown pencil, it always look a little dark on them because the brown is like doesn't look as it's like brown. So I purposely do the color in the way that very flat and really like cater to lighter skin. But for deeper skin, you still can use them, but it won't give you that punch color that you want to. Like for deeper skin, those brown color, if you want to do that soft waterline is amazing. Or you can do soft blending. Then like sometimes you want your waterline color in, but you don't want too dark, so you can use those color as well. But these brown, it's an interesting shades of brown. Like I purposely do that. It's very flattering. Yeah.
I'm
noticed
excited about
that.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
'cause
very excited about those.
I love a brown liner, and I love that you
Yeah.
just developed so many different shades of it. I really appreciated that.
Hung, what product do you think people are going to love and is going to be your hero product? And what do you think is going to be an unsung hero?
I think I love what I just told you already, lip liner, everything already. This is the truth. I'm not making it up at all. I call my team and I was like, we need to shoot these lipstick final ASAP. Also, because our bronzer didn't arrive until this week, the final one. And that, even Sephora team, they think that would be the bestseller as well.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because like for example, the blush and the bronzer is also so beautiful, but because we don't have images and everyone didn't see it, they only see the eyeshadow. But the bronzer is beautiful. I went crazy on the pressing back and forth. That it was delayed just because I was so, I don't want to say psycho, but basically in a way, because I was like, okay, I'm very gentle when I apply bronzer. I would dab, 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 and I was like, do that. But I watch consumer, they always do like this. So not talking about the formula alone, because the formula is very blurry and it's just feel like butter. It's amazing formula when they do that, and I was just like, I fell in love with that. But even for the pressing, I would send back and forth, second back and forth. My team say, "Are you serious, Hung?" And I was like, I say
Has to be
yes
perfect.
because I have to be. I have to think of the consumer. I'm not going to think of the makeup artist anymore because yes, I create beautiful product, but I want people to do that without saying, "Oh my God, these are so dusty," and or make a mess on their makeup bag, and because sometimes bronzer I see big women, they open their little bag and
my
it
God,
was
it's like
all
cracked.
these
Yeah.
crack, and I do not want that. That's a goal. So I think the bronzer blush. I think the bronzer is like really beautiful, and the shade is very beautiful. For example, the lighter shade, the pale shade for pale skin is like the shade is perfect. It was like, it's not reddish, it's just a nice neutral bronzer color. It's gorgeous.
Love.
So thing like that.
I'm
that would
excited
be
to
like
try
an
that.
answer. Yeah.
Okay, and we have great news. It's available at Sephora now,
As of this week,
in stores, online, and you cannot miss the beautiful packaging. Like, I'm so obsessed with this red.
Thank you. Oh, and then I think that people don't realize how beautiful in person because the soft touch.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love
because
it.
they don't know what technical material it is, but soft touch. Also, I want to mention is that I purposely do a packaging that easy to clean and doesn't get dirty. So this packaging, if it's get dirty, even you get a tissue, you with a dry tissue, you rub it and it's clean.
Oh,
You don't have
okay.
to try to like clean with any kind of thing at all because that's the whole point. Is like I want to be light and you want to be easy to clean and the whole
So
point. That's
pretty.
for the packaging.
that's the makeup artist in him.
I
Making
also
sure
love
it's
the logo. It's so chic, the HV.
yeah.
Hung,
Thank
we're
you.
so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
This
Thank
is
you.
so special. I know our listeners are so excited. We have a Slack channel, and when it was
Thank you.
announced, they're like, "Have y'all heard anything about this?"
Right.
And we're like, "Maybe." Wink, wink. So we're thrilled that you were able to extend a day and
Thank
be
you.
here.
Thank you for having me, though.
I
And
can't wait to like
congrats.
play with
Yes,
all
oh my God,
of
I'm
that
like
now.
blue eyeshadow
Yeah.
palette. Yes,
Thank you.
love.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Hung.
Thank you for having me.